Milwaukee right now, which is actually, it's in like Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, which is a suburb, Oconomowoc, which is a suburb, and then they're going into Madison, which is the capital, but it's down the highway. So I'm hoping, and now that we moved out further out of town, like the stars have to align that Appleton gets it, and then they give bumfuck Egypt, outside of bumfuck Egypt, fiber, and whatever, it is what it is. But I don't need, like, 60 down is fine. It's more than enough for what I do. I need the upload. I don't need it. I want the upload. I want the upload for this, and that's really it.
You need them to match, and that's where the other thing is too, is that I don't see the issue, but I don't game. I don't do like any online gaming. So, and other than that, yeah, uploading videos and stuff for like when we're done with this, and if you edited the video, or what Beatmaster does, Beatmaster goes through just hours of trying to get stuff to upload to YouTube when he's edited the stuff for Else Nerds, and it just takes forever. And he's in. Yeah.
That's a lot of times why I will do the downloading and uploading at work. Yeah, because we have like dedicated gig fiber and shit.
I'm at work, and I got 3 new PCs today, and they're all Windows 7, and I want to do all the updates for them. And it's like I'm spending all day doing the updates for one machine because it's 9 megabits, and it's just stupid hell, you know. But it's fine, you know. I got mine. That's the important thing, I guess. I feel like one of the technologies that I would do to develop, like what Comcast is still trying to make themselves relevant in an internet-only world and make their TV relevant in an internet-only world. They supply this modem, and it's a network modem, but they also, all of their TV boxes are connected to each other. Like if you use the Xfinity, but I don't know what they're called anymore, but the Xfinity boxes where you have the DVR on one, and then the other ones can all access the DVR and run it and program it and everything. So they're all talking to each other, and TiVo did that for a while through networking. But it's like, why don't they put wireless nodes in each of the cable boxes so that
Uverse did it.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because then every room that has a TV box has another bump for your wireless.
But not,
you know, it has its own little mini network that's all part of the same network. The only thing they have to do is they have to make sure that they have that cut off from the outside, because cable is already a shared network as it is.
Yeah, you mean you just don't publicly broadcast it, and you just pair all your devices. That's how they make their money for an installation, because the tech has the ability to pair your devices, and you don't.
Yeah, and the other part of it is that with Comcast, what they do is they have 2 networks already. They have your network that you control, and then they have the Comcast Xfinity network that's open to other Comcast users that you have to call them to get them to shut off if you want, if you make a stink about it. Otherwise, it's like I've got a modem from them that I don't even use the router from it, but I have to go through hell to get the wireless turned off on it so it doesn't interfere with my personal wireless network.
We have work from home agents, and they have Time Warner, and Time Warner now by default gives you a modem with Wi-Fi in it if you have such certain speeds, and you don't tell them no. So what was happening is people were taking their work equipment home, and then they would use their laptop after hours and connect to their home Wi-Fi, and then they would set up to go to work, and then they would connect to their home Wi-Fi and bypass our network, and no one could figure it out. So essentially what we did was we were paying our network admin, like a guy with a CCIE making a lot of money, was going to these people's houses to configure routers and all this shit and disabling the Wi-Fi and making, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But
I would do that out of the goodness of my heart for pretty much anybody that I work with. Sometimes they come into me with their own home computers and stuff and say, I'm having a problem with this thing, and I'm like, yeah, just set it down and I'll take a look at it as soon as I get a chance.
Well, we ran into issues where some person accused our network engineer of like destroying something at their house. So then it turned into something where a supervisor had to go with, and now there's no more. You can't do that anymore. Like we don't go to your house.
The insurance, the insurance aspect, that was a big thing with Geek Squad. is the insurance is such a big deal. And then when we had our installers for home theater and stuff, we had to have a licensed electrician that we were all under the license for.
Yeah.
To basically, like, when it came down to if we were doing actual electrical work, we had to have that guy sign off on it. And there was one for the whole region, I think.
Which I would want someone to sign off on the electrical work.
Yeah.
Because if my house burns down, who's accountable?
Exactly. And that's the whole thing, is that everything through a corporation like that is insured. When we're coming to your house, that's part of the whole waiver sign off and everything. Because otherwise you sue the hell out of the company and you probably win. Which is good. That was one of the best things about that. But with smaller companies who don't think about those things and whose problem it shouldn't be to send someone out to your house, even if you're an employee, that's where things get sticky.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Shall we?
Let's
get shit going. What is it? This is 94? Yeah.
It says welcome to 93, but I don't know if you updated it.
I haven't updated it. I gotta check the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is fucked, and it won't let me update it a lot of times.
What's that?
I don't know. It just keeps telling me that it's offline, and
let me
works now. Okay. When I checked at work earlier today, it did not work. I need to do a bunch of updating. Yeah, it's 94.
Yep, this is 94.
All right. So if you hear a random dog barking in the background, we are puppy sitting Nate's dog during Summerfest. Mm-hmm. And he does not sleep with us because our dogs wouldn't have any of it. So we had to put him in his crate a little earlier tonight because Alyssa went to bed with the dogs. So if there's barking, that's that.
Yeah. He's
been quiet ever since, although last night he definitely barked until like 11 o'clock.
Well, he's in a crate and he's in a strange place.
Yep. So he humped my leg, so he's clearly more comfortable today than he was yesterday. He's also like 4 months old, so it's...
Yeah, he knocks one out and he's good.
Yeah. He just fucking pumps out that easy one and just goes to sleep. But he's been quiet, so it should be fine. Okay.
Did you read any of the stories?
I don't know where the fuck where they go. I knew about Jigsaw.
Mm-hmm.
The Eli Roth thing I haven't read about. Distrust I looked up, and then the sex toy I looked at because I had to look at the Babadook.
Yeah. I even pre-pitched that on Elks Nerds last night. I said, anybody who listens to the next episode of PoT, we have a story about well, I don't know if it's a butt plug necessarily, but not a dildo.
It could be. If it can go in hole number 1, it can go in hole number 2 if you try hard enough.
Yep. Or you can make yourself a hole. Ain't got a hole. Yeah. So
that's fine. Are you familiar with the house with the clock in its walls?
Not terribly.
Okay, neither am I.
But I read a little bit about it. It's a children's book thing, which
I will rely on you, like I always do.
Fill in.
Fuck, let me open these quick, because that's the smart thing to do. Why is my fucking... What the fuck? My mouse click. My mouse wheel, I use it to open shit.
Yeah, your Razer Sidewinder mouse, or
the Naga.
The Naga.
For all of those MMOs I never play.
Oh, I know, man. We all like our toys, and we think that we're going to do great shit with them, and then...
it comes in handy, because I do play PC video games, and even if in a first-person shooter, you can use it to switch your guns.
Yep.
So it comes in handy. I've definitely used it, and this is like the 3rd one I've owned. So I like it enough.
I really like Razer's products.
I don't like paying for it,
but good things to say about. Yeah, they are pricey, but they are quality too.
Yeah, I agree. They have a camera, like an HD camera that I thought about getting, but it's like $200 and some odd. I'm like, I can't justify that.
Yeah, I've never had anything bad to say about Logitech cameras, so
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
don't
I
even
have.
know if I would consider another one at this point. But I would look twice at Razer, because if they're doing
Yeah.
it, there's probably something to it.
The only downside, the Logitech I have sits over the top of my monitor, which is awesome, except right now because of the angle and the desk and all that, it like hangs over my tabs. So if I
Oh,
start bobbing and weaving, it's because I'm trying to read tabs without just moving my fucking window.
yeah.
Okay, let's try this.
Let's give it a shot.
Fucking tab. All right. Welcome to episode 94 of the podcast here, a production. It's a production of the
A
Galactic Network.
turduction?
It's a turducken of the Galactic Network. I'm your host, Matt Stein. With me, as always, is Corey Scott. Corey, how are you?
I am the turkey inside of your duck.
Yep.
I guess.
And then we're the truck inside of Dave's chicken.
Yeah, I think the chicken goes inside.
Oh, the chicken goes in. It's duck, chicken, turkey. Okay, so then if you're inside of me, that makes you the duck. If I'm the chicken, okay, so that makes us Chuck. And then
right.
we go inside of Dave, who's the turkey, to make the turducken.
He's the wagon at that point.
That doesn't really work. So we'd have to be.
Where does Jack fit in? I feel like Jack would be in this.
Jack is the one squeezing juice on us.
He's the worm. he's a little tequila worm.
He's the worm in the tequila. I actually like it better that Jack would just have a turkey baster and is just basting us as we slowly cook in eager anticipation of eating all 6 of our legs on a holiday based on genocide. For more on this podcast, including show notes, contact information, subscription links, go to gncast.com/pot. You can chat with us on our Slack channel, gncast.com/sign up. God, mouth. But not really. You can subscribe to our newsletter over there as well. Before we get into the news, we're going to do our what you drinking?
I am drinking sweet Roanoke Park Tap. It is just plain old water, right from the not from the hose, because I'm not into porn, but from my sink with
fire hose.
My probably not filtered well enough ice cubes from my fridge. And I feel good about it. I feel really good about it. I got sunburned on Sunday because I went outside. My face is peeling off like I'm that guy in Poltergeist. And I forgot that when you are outside that the sun is actively trying to kill you at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, the sun is basically a live murder ball. A murder ball of fire.
That is how I feel about it. But it was a good time. It was for a friend's birthday, and I didn't think things through.
Interesting. All right, hang on. I paused it. Crowley's saying that the YouTube audio is fucked.
Yeah, I hope not.
No, it's just him. It's fine for me.
Okay. Or, I mean, how do we sound as chipmunks?
I think what's happening is it's probably... Have you ever had it where like a video, there's like silence and then the audio catches up to it?
Yeah.
And then it sounds like chipmunks as it catches up? I think what's happening is his is never really catching up and then it cuts out again and then it just repeats. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we could sing Christmas Time is Here for him, though, at least. You don't get that reference.
No, I'm sorry. I'm listening to the...
No, believe me,
I do get the Chipmunks reference. I had the Chipmunks Christmas CD when I was a kid.
It kills me that you had a CD of it.
I did.
Because I think I had it on vinyl, and I probably would have had it on 8-track.
Oh, fuck. I never had 8-track.
I had so much 8-track.
Damn it. Shut up. Oh. I mean in the nicest way possible. Okay. You didn't think things through. The recorded audio is really, really, really fucking quiet before I master it. So I would start listening, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm Corey. I'm going to talk." We're good though.
You got to let me know when you're doing something.
I know. I try and multitask because I don't want to like make you sit there in silence.
No, I get it.
Okay, so you're sunburnt. I'll just start recording and then talk about what I have, which may blow your tits off. Well, don't get sunburnt anymore, you goddamn lobster. But
I never want to go outside again.
just don't ever leave your house ever again. This may surprise you, but I'm drinking Lipton iced tea.
Oh my God.
I had my yearly physical this morning, and I got into like some weird argument with the doctor about how I need to eat less chicken nuggets and Funyuns and be less fat. So I was like, I'll take a night off of beer. But the lady who gave me my tetanus shot is like, what are you doing for the 4th of July? And I'm like, I don't know. Someone just told me I need to have less carbs. She's like, you're gonna not drink for the 4th? And I said, fuck that.
Yeah.
I drink on the 4th. I did good today. I exercised. I ate right. I just gonna take this one all the way home. So
it's kind of like flossing after you just went to your dentist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna floss from now on until the next time I see you, and you floss for 2 days, and you're like, that's it. We're
done here.
Be good enough. You know, I've got everything out for the next 3 months.
My intent was yesterday to do just really eat good because I knew I had to fast for 12 hours, and I just went to Chili's for soup, salad, and chips and salsa, and just ate all the salt. Like that probably had a lot to do with the fact that everything is horrendous on me.
Yeah, I've been borderline high for all the things with the bad cholesterol and the good cholesterol and everything else for the last few years. So I feel like it hasn't changed. So I'm still okay. Well, but I did buy myself some oatmeal.
See, the lady's like, oh, this is high cookies. And this is high. And I said, here's the fucked up thing, young lady. I said, the first year I went, I'm like, I didn't exercise whatsoever. I said, the next year I started exercising. My numbers went up. I said, the next year I exercised more. The numbers went up. I said, this year I've been eating better, exercising the most I have probably in my entire life. And I said, and they're fucked. So I'm like, what do you want me to do?
You've also had a good amount of home stress, like trying to move and everything. You just got back from a trip where your work paid for you to eat crap the whole time, and
she's like, do you drink ever? And I'm like, I dabble. I have a snifter of port once in a while. And she's kind of looking at me, and I said, honestly, like I don't feel like I drink enough to be considered like an alcoholic or anything like that. But I'm like, if I'm gonna have a beer, I said it's going to be a giant bottle and it's going to be a nice beer, which is generally worse for you than Coors Light. Maybe I should start a health podcast, like how to be fat and not fat at the same time.
Just how to be fat and okay with it. You can be fat and not be in worry for your life, and you can be fat and maybe take baby steps to get a little bit healthy. But there's something to be said for you still got to enjoy living.
Yep.
And I know that some people do enjoy having a good diet and working out and all of those things. And I don't want to take that away from anybody. Yeah. But I went through a couple of years where I basically was starving to death because my body was rejecting anything I tried to eat or drink. And I don't want to go back to that. And now I'm a big freaking lard ass, and I'm not happy 100% with it, but I'm certainly more comfortable.
You're beautiful.
And my wife likes me, my family likes me. Yeah. So I'm John Candy at the end of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And probably 2 years away from dying, like John Candy at the end of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Stop eating salt, please. I don't even know if you eat too much salt. I don't know.
I find that I do like.
I love salt.
I mean, I don't shy away from it.
No,
but I don't buy like a lot of salty stuff. I use it normally when I'm cooking.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm the same way. This whole conversation, I had the mental image of Bart Simpson sitting in a bathtub with a rag on a stick, and he just goes, "I'll wash myself with a rag on a stick." So that's my brain is pretty much just a monkey clanging cymbals the entire time. It's a real mess up there. No wonder I can't sleep. All right, let's get into some news.
Well, we should warn everybody. This week we are going to be reviewing after our news, as we do. We're going to be reviewing the Babadook.
Yep, we're closing out Pride Month with the recently crowned gay icon, the Babadook.
Isn't that what always what the most homophobic people say is like the gays are going to point at me and say you're gay now, and I'm just going to have to accept it, and so I don't like gay people or something. But the Babadook seems to just be like Yeah, I am, and taking this in total stride. It seems to really like it, and I feel like that's a great way to celebrate.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later. Also, the actual story on how the Babadook became an LGBTQ icon is going to be in the show notes. So please read it because it's pure insanity. First news story we have: Saw Legacy has now been renamed Jigsaw, and is coming out on, I almost said Christmas, Halloween.
Which is Christmas for us.
Yep.
Yeah, our friends over at horrorgeeklife.com brought us this story, and I believe Melissa even mentioned something about this when she was on last with Randy when we did our Friday the 13th duel episode. But so Saw was a huge film franchise. If you've not heard of it, it had 7 movies prior in the series, and it starred a character who went by Jigsaw, played by Tobin Bell, John Kramer. And at some point in the series, he dies. Sorry for the spoiler for the now at least 15-year-old series. He's gone, but the Saw movies kept happening. So in this, he's not coming back to life, which is good because that would seem unusual. But he is a part of the film again, in some way.
But it could just take place at a different time in the series.
I don't even know if it's that. I think what it is that part of what made Saw cool to me, and we've talked about Eli Roth and Hostel versus Saw, and I always found the Saw series a little bit more interesting because Jigsaw's motivations and his machinations, the way he makes the things happen, is he thinks things ahead. He's diabolical in how he plots out what's going to happen to the victims, who aren't even necessarily supposed to be victims all the time, as much as he's putting them into very difficult situations and letting them kind of work out how they wanted to end in a way. And so it could be like he had some master plan of something was going to happen in 7 years. Kind of like David Lynch had with Twin Peaks.
Yeah, something like that. I'm really curious to see what they do. I really liked the Saw movies until like 4 and 5. I think I started to give up on them, but I still saw them. I own them on digital video disc. Most people listening may not know what that is, but it's a little CD. You put it in. There's a moving picture on it. It shows up on your talkie box. But I'm really like worried to read anything about it because I don't want the movie to suck. I really don't, and I'm pretty convinced that it will. It's going to take something special to, I don't want to say rekindle, but to unfuck up what the last 4 movies fucked up.
Well, I know that we haven't reviewed We
should probably do that.
Well, we should. But I was going to say, we haven't reviewed the new Blair Witch, correct?
No.
We've both seen it, and I think we both kind of had positive things to say about it.
Yeah, but I had the same general fear going into it that I do with this one.
And that's what I mean, is that coming back this many years later, we could certainly expect that it could either be terrible or it could be good or it could be great. And there has to be a reason why they're bringing it back. Now, it certainly the films were never not successful, but 7 years is a long time to wait to bring something like this back.
Yeah.
This kind of franchise, although it doesn't seem like that long ago now. And realistically, since so much stuff is available for streaming or like you said, you own the DVDs and stuff, this stuff doesn't exit people's minds in a way that it used to. 25 years for Twin Peaks, people who've never watched it before are just now discovering it and watching it to catch up for the new series. Saw being just 7 years ago ending, a lot of people who remember Saw remember it like it was pretty recent. And probably maybe even just watched it recently. So it seems like it could be successful.
I remember seeing Saw 1 in the movie theater.
Same here.
And it changed my life. It's the first time I achieved erection watching a horror movie.
the last time I know. But I don't think we ever went back to see any of the other Saw movies in the theater. I think we just kind of
No.
waited for cable, or we got them on DVD.
Maybe I did. Maybe I saw like 2 because I was trying to, you know, slay some gash, but I don't think I saw 3. 4. By 4, I was pretty much married.
Yeah, and one of the things is that Saw was, I think that was the first time that we got something from James Wan, and James is, you know, like big name.
He's done some shit now, hasn't he?
He's done a lot of shit. Yeah, that's just it. The Conjuring movies and Insidious films are all James Wan. This is a guy who has moved from that onto doing a lot of stuff. And
he's doing, wow, holy shit. He's doing the new Mortal Kombat, Conjuring 3, Insidious 4, The Nun, The Crooked Man, the Resident Evil reboot, the Annabelle.
Well, he's producer on all of those things, but the big thing that he's actually directing is the Aquaman movie from DC.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's and he directed the premiere episode of the MacGyver TV series, which is a little weird. And Furious 7.
Furious 7. I just saw it.
Like, that's the thing, is that guy, the guy who did Saw,
let's not
$1 billion movies like Furious 7.
Let's not overlook Doggy Heaven.
Well, we never do. I think that was actually one of the Saw sequels.
Oh, all right. So yeah, Saw 8. Right, that we Saw 8. Yeah, Saw 8 Jigsaw comes out October 27th this year. Of our Lord and Savior. Make sure you check it out.
It's snuck into that empty spot left open by Friday the 13th. That ain't ever gonna happen.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Next story, we have Eli Roth and Jack Black will be adapting a children's book called The House with a Clock in Its Walls into a movie. That seems so weird for those two people to be working together.
I imagine this is an adaptation of a children's book. Since it's Eli Roth, I assume it's the children's book is We Cut Up My Friend Jimmy.
That should just be The House with a Kid in Its Walls. And then it's
Dissecting
Jimmy.
Fido. So I think this is good. I think this is potentially very good. When Robert Rodriguez had kids, he stopped doing a lot of what we consider Robert Rodriguez films at that point in time, the weird, like, adult stuff like the Desperados and everything. And he started doing the Spy Kids movies. And he did Shark Boy and Lava Girl because he wanted to make films that his kids could see. Which George Lucas said about The Phantom Menace, and we probably shouldn't really compare those. But it worked. It wasn't stuff that was for adults. They didn't get the same enjoyment out of it, but the kids really did. And I feel like maybe Eli Roth could do a good kids movie, especially if it's based off of somebody else's concept and work. This involves witches and involves people coming back from the dead and a haunted house and a timepiece that's trapped in a wall that could obliterate humankind. And it's got Jack Black, who was just in the Goosebumps movie and I think is doing the Goosebumps sequel. Everything about this sounds both like you can crap all over it because of who's involved, or you can just kind of close your eyes and think maybe we could have a little faith and they could pull something off that is really special and cool. And I want it to be cool.
I want it to be. Well, I actually don't give a fuck if it's cool. Sorry, will not watch this. But
we did the episode very early on where we recommended things that were horror stuff for children.
Yes.
And so I always kind of want to see more of that too, especially new things. While this is an adaptation, it is new to films. It's not a remake of something else. It's not going to be the quality of Mr. Boogedy necessarily, but
such a good movie.
Yeah, I know you really loved it. That may be a contender for you of your favorite movie with Santa Slay.
That's true. Mr. Boogedy and Santa Slay will eventually have a Thunderdome style death match for my favorite movie.
Yeah, I can see how that would work. I look forward to more terrifying stuff that's actually for kids. That is their entryway into like 10 years from now taking over this podcast from us, because I'm gonna be dying because all that salt.
I'll be right behind you. I salt the shit out of everything. Not like Jack's dad though. Salt and sausage.
Behind me salting things is just such a concept. That is some phrasing.
All right, the next news story we have, we'll move past salting our sausages. There is a game that came out called Distrust. It is a survival game that is based on The Thing. You can get yourself a demo right now.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but you can download the demo on Steam, and it's not.
It looks
I don't
like
think they
Fallout,
licensed
in my opinion.
The Thing, but they certainly didn't secretize the fact that they were stealing a lot from John Carpenter.
Yeah, the description is a helicopter crash left a group of explorers stranded near an Arctic base. As they try to find a way back, all they are doing is sinking deeper into a nightmare scenario. When they sleep, they attract a terrifying force that sucks the life out of their bodies. But the longer they battle exhaustion and stay awake, the less likely they are to survive. It's The Thing. It is the thing. Even looks like it. I mean,
which is not a bad object to rip off. It's
not at all.
Certainly up there as one of the best horror stories around. Now, how did you try the demo? Did you?
No, I haven't had time.
Is this one of those games that you think you would enjoy playing though?
I don't know.
I want to.
Yeah, I want to see some gameplay. I guess I could just download the demo. I mean, I'm not going to lose out on any money doing that. Like you said, it's top down. It reminds me of like Fallout 1 and 2. And yeah, I'd be curious to see, is it like turn-based? Is it, RTS? Is it, whatever? I should just download it and fucking play it. But ultimately, I want to see what the reviews are before I would play it. But if the reviews are favorable and the gameplay looks good, I would certainly do it.
Yeah, there was a horror game that I played not too long ago. I think we talked about it way back when, called Party Hard, maybe?
Yep.
It was about the guy who was going into the party next door and killing everybody.
I own that game as well.
That was a fun game. And this, it doesn't really look like that, but it's the first thing that I thought of when it came to it, probably because I don't play a lot of games.
Yeah.
And yeah, the paranoia aspect and how they play off of everything, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think I added it to my cart on Steam for the demo to try it out, and I just haven't had a chance to open it up yet. But I might give this one a try.
You should. You really should. Yeah, there's no release or anything on it that I saw.
No release date yet, but the expectation that it should be out soon if the demo's there. And
yeah. Or they'll Kickstarter it and it'll fucking.
Oh, August 23rd.
Oh, okay. I'm drunk.
Yeah. Tell your doctor.
Tell my doctor. Nobody tell my doctor I got drunk. I don't even know how to say her last name. Let's do this last news story real quick because it's fucking hilarious in my opinion. Tying in with our LGBTQ icon, the Babadook, there is currently a Indiegogo campaign for the Babadong. So if you've ever wanted to get fucked by a 7.5-inch black dildo with the Babadook's face on it, you can do that.
I mean, wasn't that all of our first times, really?
Yeah, I've just always wanted to get fucked by the Babadook. The Babadong is 7.5 inches long with a base from the base to the tip and a girth of 5 3/4 inches around in the thickest part.
Why would they make it so small?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just phase 1 for me. Not even done.
I know we can't get away with making this the default picture for the podcast for downloads, but I really kind of want to. I also love the fact that the picture of the mock-up for the Babadong has the rainbow behind it.
Yep.
I think it's just lovely. And this, I don't think this was something that we knew was coming out before we chose this movie for this week. It's just that beautiful symmetry. Like we're all on the same page right now. How do you feel about specialized dildos? And there was I think there was one for Avatar.
Yep.
I believe there was, or maybe it was a fleshlight or something. There was a lot of different
I think there was both, but
Probably.
there's also like a full sex toy line for the 50 Shades of Grey books and movies. If there's a market, someone will make it.
I certainly think the 50 Shades of Grey books have the kind of like discretion stuff of like, because the women who were reading that and they were trying to hide that they were reading that, but everybody was talking about it. There's that aspect to it, and then there's the BDSM aspect to it. I just don't know what having a creature's face or alien presence and stuff, what that does, like how that interaction really changes because it's dressed up as something. I know that there's an aspect of fantasy, but this isn't really fantasy. This is like getting, when I was a kid, I had what a weird segue. I had a spray foam soap that was done up to look like Batman and Superman and stuff because I was a kid and I collected all things superheroes. But it was still just goddamn soap.
Yeah.
In a canister, and it just had Batman's picture on it. It wasn't like I'm having a bath with Batman, which again, weird premise, not where I'm trying to go with this, but as a kid I would have thought, oh cool, you know, because any reason to have Batman around. I don't know what having a face, it doesn't look like it's gonna add to any pleasure. Or it does what any dong doesn't do already.
I just see the teeth getting caught somewhere or scraping or doing something. What if the Babadook comes to life and starts chewing on your old pussy lips?
The underbite is maybe a little sexy. I feel like they missed a step by not having the tongue, but then the Babadook itself doesn't have one.
They should put the Babadook, he should have a big old fucking spinning, rotating, vibrating tongue that gets the butthole.
There's certainly things you can do with the little clawed hands and maybe the wings. I don't know. I'm such a prude.
You put the fucking Babadook inside and you push the activator switch, and then the fucking wings come out, the claws come out, and he basically sets up shop inside your pussy.
Oh, so this is the chicken. This is the Baba Dave. This is what we've decided.
The Baba Dave, yeah.
And our turducken.
No, actually, the lady who's putting the Babadook inside of her would be the Dave, and then the Babadook is you and I going inside, setting up shop.
And man, when we talk about this movie, it's going to be so much fun because some of the comparisons of like, you don't necessarily invite the Babadook in, but you can't make him leave. There's some thought. There's some real thought to this. I haven't checked out the actual campaign, but I creatively, there's a lot of fun to be had with this if you want to go all the way.
Our friend Ashley in the chat pointed out earlier that they made lightsaber dildos, which I believe is too far. And then she brought up Pillow Pants the Pussy Troll. I love Clerks 2.
Yeah. Pillow Pants was the greatest scene.
I know. She can't because of Pillow Pants.
Just the look of fear on Randall's face as the realization of what he's listening to. Like every time that... I haven't watched Clerks 2 a lot, but I will watch that scene over that and the dancing scene. I just will stop whatever I'm doing.
Dancing scene I thought was dumb.
Oh, but I loved it. Plus it was a great song. And Rosario Dawson dancing was just, that is some beauty to behold.
It wasn't bad to look at, but
so yeah, not a lot raised for this so far. Their goal is $15,000, and they're at 422. So maybe this isn't grabbing the attention that I would have expected because of where we're at.
This campaign has not grabbed anyone by the pussy.
It is well, you know, maybe it's a bad sculpt. Maybe the expectations for Babadook are a little bit higher.
It doesn't sound like it's been made yet, though.
No, well, it hasn't, but that's exactly it. Is that
and if the 15,000 is not met, it will not be made. So,
right, they got their mock-up
up in that punani. You gotta shell out a lot of money.
You know, maybe people are holding out for the Baba Bong.
I would be actually shocked if that does not exist.
It's gonna happen right now because I'm gonna go patent it.
Corey's starting a Kickstarter for the Baba Bong. It's a little too close to Baba Booey.
It really is.
Yeah. Either way, the Baba Dong currently sits at $422. It's a $15,000 goal. Your one option is $60 plus $8 shipping. I really didn't fucking like, hey, give us $1 because you think the Baba Dong was funny. No, they probably would have hit it then, but no.
What would you pay for a licensed horror icon as a sex toy?
$0.
$0.
Yeah, the band Ghost made butt plugs too, and it looked like the singer with his little hat. I think the band Ghost is garbage, but that's just.
I don't even know that band, but I'm semi in love with them now.
Their shtick is that every time they put out a new album, their singer is like reborn or something. I don't know. They sound like bad Blue Oyster Cult.
That implies that
let me rephrase that.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they sound like Blue Oyster Cult, which is bad. Is that better?
Yeah,
that's better. All right, that's gonna do it for the news. Before we get into the Babadook, goddamn Duke again, I would like to point out that we have a new partner at the old Galactic Network. He's a good friend of ours. He hangs out during all the shows. I think he uses this as an excuse to skip work because he's usually like working early in the morning when we're doing these. But our good friend Growly Bear is a partner, so thank you, buddy. We really appreciate that.
What a kind thing to say. Is we really appreciate your support of the network, and also we have concerns about you and what your direction is with your life. Are you skipping your job? Are you
bark twice if you're being held hostage?
Unless you're being held hostage by Galactic Network, in which case, shut up. Just keep paying us. I don't know. We really do appreciate Growly Bear, and not just for this, but because
I only appreciate his money.
No, okay. For me, it's mostly your looks, but okay. And the way you hold me.
I want to know what love is. Oh, so I was playing Friday the 13th with some friends, and I spawned as Jason, and I started singing that. And one of my buddies is like, I think you're the only fucking person that's ever sang that song while playing as Jason.
Maybe that's what Jason's singing all the time.
That's true. He just wants to know what love is.
Jason didn't take Manhattan because he wanted to kill a bunch of people. It was like that's where the band was playing that week, and he wanted to go see him. That's true. He's just going up to everybody with a machete in one hand and an extra ticket in the other. He's like, "You want to come?"
I got an extra ticket. You don't have to pay for it. I just need someone to go with. No? Okay, that's where the joke ends?
I think we took it as far as we could, and then
nope.
Further.
Is the horse dead yet? Because if not, we're going to keep beating it. We're going to beat the dead horse, not off. We're not going to beat off on the dead horse. Horse
ducking.
The horse. Not getting into that again. All right, the movie we chose this week, the Babadook, Duke. This is not the first time I've seen it. I think this is the first time you've seen it, right, Corey?
It was absolutely the first time I saw it. And as I was watching it, my wife walked into the room, looked at the TV, and said, "Oh, God," and walked out of it, which is what I say to 90% of the horror movies that I see her watching. I was not sure exactly why her reaction was so poor.
Is she Duke racist?
No, I think that there are. This is not an easy movie to watch. Let's just start from that. Is that as the story goes along, this is a movie about a mother who does not have a good handle on her life after her husband dies while taking her to the hospital when she is giving birth to their son. And a lot of the movie is basically her son is driving her insane. And a lot of other people, including her sister, do not like her son and do not like her frame of mind and where she is. And it's not all blamed on this creature that suddenly starts showing up. It is a lot of it is mentally she's having a bit of a breakdown. And all I thought the entire time I'm watching this is, I really love my mom. My mom had to deal with my shit. I was that kid. and I owe her big.
See, I wasn't that. I guess I don't know. I drank away the majority of my childhood. But
were your parents divorced?
no, they're still together.
Mine were. My parents separated earlier than I can remember. I was 2, and they were divorced when I was 3. So my mom was a single mother up until I was an adult, when she finally met and married a terrific guy. And I looked at this from the perspective of the single mom, and I looked at it from the perspective of the son, who is maybe at points too attached to his mom and too imaginative and too much in his own world at times, and is not able to deal with general society very well. And that was certainly me. So I came at this from a like, oh shit, this is hitting too close to home.
Yeah, let me know when you're done being a whiny bitch.
I'm fine now, because I'm.
If you're not watching the video of this podcast, Corey is crying like a little bitch.
Or a big bitch. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy it, but it was very. It touched me in a way that only a Babadook can. No,
just by opening up his bat wings in my butthole.
Right.
It's a situation that I cannot understand. A, I don't have kids. B, I wasn't the child of a single parent. But one of my best friends is once again a single parent, and I respect the fuck out of him for everything he's done. But it's not something that I cannot put myself into that headspace. I cannot understand what it's like to do that. Now, with that being said, I fucking hated this kid. And I guess that that was what he set out to do, was to be annoying as fuck, and he did it. And he did a good job of it. But so before I saw this movie, it was described to me as saying, like, at the beginning you'll hate the kid, at the end you'll hate the mom, and that's kind of exactly what happened. And I'm sure that that's what they were going for, and they did a very good job of it. But the kid was just so fucking annoying.
But that's the problem, is that you can't really communicate with kids up to a certain point and just hit them with logic and hit them with the understanding, because they come at you with emotion. My ex, who's one of my best friends, her son, when we were together, had night terrors. And there's no way to control it when the kid just gets up in the middle of the night and starts screaming and feels terrified, and you're in the next room and maybe trying to bang it out a little bit, and all of a sudden you got a kid at the door who's like trying to get in and interrupting everything. But that's just the reality, is that you kind of bring this on yourself by having a kid.
Yeah.
And some people have it by accident, some people have it and then realize afterwards, like, oh shit, I can't handle this at all. But you have to deal with it now.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times when I talk about the fact that we decided not to have children, that's usually what people say. They're like, well, that's good of you to understand that that's not a situation you want to be in, because I do believe that a lot of people have children, don't know what they're getting into, and then end up like this. They go,
or then there are those people who say, oh, well, you'll get there, you'll change your mind at some point, and that's because they wish that pain on you. They just like, I'm gonna deal with this shit, you're gonna have to deal with this shit.
It's somehow my fault.
I'm just
always my fault. No, I know. I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, so
but like I said, I identify with this kid, and while I teased my ex's son a little bit, he was never this level of a pain to deal with. He was a normal kid in most aspects and everything, and he was delightful, and I love him, and he's also one of my best friends, and one of the things that I'm most proud of. I was like this kid. Mm-hmm. I was someone that at one point my mom questioned whether or not I had a soul and thought about drowning me like a sack full of kittens. I really, and deservedly so. Like I can tell you that I terrorized my mother at points in my life, trying to get my shit together. And she did everything she could, but it's hard when you're the only one there to handle it and you don't have help. And what we wound up doing is moving in with my grandmother at some point, because we were all able to help each other. But that even took work.
Yeah. I feel like we've very heavily digressed from the story.
Yeah.
The whole reason that we're here. So basically the elevator pitch of this movie. This kid is a fuck. His mom finds, is it his mom or does he find the book?
I think the book winds up showing up. I think it winds up coming to their position, but I don't know that they actually tried to get it. It just was like,
I think it just like shows up. But yeah, so the book shows up, and then the mom, the son wants the mom to read it to him as a good bedtime story. And basically she was like, wow, this book's kind of fucked up. And then the kid starts freaking out and saying, oh, the Babadook's going to get us. Or the way he says it is the Babadook. Whatever. The way he said Babadook.
His accent is very cute.
Yeah, it annoyed me. But so she throws the book out. Book comes back. She tears it up. She tears it. Oh, she tears it up first. Okay. I couldn't remember if she did. So she tears it up. It comes back like reassembled. She reads further, and it gets increasingly more disturbing as to
and
what
showing her images of herself and her
the kid
and her killing their dog and killing the kid and everything. And
so then she burns the book. And that doesn't work. And my favorite part is when she goes to the cops after she burns it. And she's like, "Oh, this guy is following me in this book," and they just kind of stare at her like she's fucking insane, which she is.
She is going insane. She's bad shit. She is being driven insane by the creature and by the situation. And at the same time, it's kind of like an abuser in a relationship where the Babadook starts doing things to cut her off from what would be the limited support group she has. Yeah. So as it's driving her nuts, and it's driving the kid to be more and more paranoid, and he's already at a emotionally disturbed level, it causes her to have a bigger rift with her sister and her sister's friends, and her son winds up breaking the nose of his cousin, and so like that support is gone, and she can't go into work because it's keeping her from being able to sleep. So she's sick. Her son's sick. Her son is now taking drugs because of him acting out and stuff. And it's supposed to help him sleep, but it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. And she's reacting worse and worse. So she loses work support. Her neighbor, the old lady who helps out sometimes and watches her son, she starts putting a rift between them. It's cutting her off from everybody else to keep manipulating her without anybody being able to see it and stop it or help her and maybe normalizing her. There are points where she could definitely have the son go stay with somebody else, and she doesn't because she thinks that she should be in control. But that's, again, you can see that the Babadook is kind of manifesting in her, and it's like the sore in her mouth or something, or a bad tooth that is coming in, and she keeps kind of pulling at her mouth because she feels it, but she doesn't realize that that's what it is.
That's deep, man.
Yeah, it's a deep movie, and you have to approach this with the sense of it's not a very simple... You see the image of the Babadook, and you think, oh, it's coming out of a children's book, and it's a very clean-cut, straightforward film. It's not. This is, like I said from the beginning, it's an emotional film, and the motives of the Babadook, as they get explained, and the motives of the people and how they are mentally going over the edge more and more, it's all stuff that you have to kind of like really be invested in to get the story. Otherwise, you're going to walk away from it and just feel like it was either dumb or it was like, well, I like looking at the Babadook and I like the noises that he made.
Dog. Would you say that the Babadook film is about 7.5 inches deep?
Yeah. We're basically just gonna have to give it 7.5 all the way across for the scores.
I mean, we can if you want.
It can finally beat Xanadu.
No, nothing can
maybe
ever top Xanadu.
Nothing scarier than Xanadu.
Shitty fucking movie. Sorry. I don't need to make you. I don't remember how the movie ends.
Oh man! So one of the things that happens is that the Babadook kind of disguises itself as her husband, which is one of the big things. It seems as though she would be willing to give up her son to have her husband back, because that was the last time that her life kind of made sense. And of course, he was the love of her life and everything. So it tries to tempt her in her basement, and in doing that, it's like, bring me the boy and we can be together again. And she's like, bring you who? Bring you your son? He's like, bring him to me. And it's like, oh shit. So she's slowly getting converted over to letting this happen. You know, the Babadook wants to cause them pain. And I didn't quite get some of the Babadook's motivations, but it is, once it's in the home, you can't get rid of it. Once it's there and you've let it in, you can't do anything about it. It was very odd, because you wait for a movie with a poltergeist or a ghost presence, and you wait for them to get rid of it. And there's no getting rid of it in this. That's kind of one of the rules that they establish right up front. And if you don't talk about it and you don't face up to it, then you lose more and more control to it. So all of the rules are like, everything that is your instinct to do, which is to decompartmentalize it and push it away and all of these other things, that's just going to make it worse for you. Yeah. It's like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you're going to go into it. And that's interesting, but it's also so abstract that, again, I don't know. It doesn't do a lot to give you a story that you can kind of like figure your way around. It's very emotional, but I don't know that it's told in such a way that I can like just easily wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's not straightforward yet. It's still pretty straightforward, if that sounds plausible.
Yeah, because, well, like you're saying, you can't remember the ending, but you've seen it twice.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the ending is a little obscure. Is at the end, she decides not to kill her son, and they sort of defeat the Babadook, but like her life almost starts to come together again. They get the son enrolled into a different school, which is going to be much better. The what is basically the child protective services that came out to her house at some point and were judging her start to realize, oh, okay, you know, maybe things are going to be all right. Kid still says some outlandish shit. Mm-hmm. And they realize that the mom is still a little crazy, but they feel like it's getting better, so they just kind of let it go. She, I think, finds another job. She starts to develop a relationship, at least with the neighbor lady again. I don't know how it goes with the sister. The sister was kind of a bitch. But then at the end, she goes into the basement and she feeds the Babadook, kind of like how they feed Nick Frost at the end of Shaun of the Dead. It's like, yeah, I'm going to keep him around. Because in this case, they can't do anything but keep him around. He's a part of the house. He's a part of their lives now. So they just kind of have to keep him fed and, you know, docile as they can, which I guess is maybe part of what he wanted, is he wants to be a part of the family. But the part of the family that lives in the basement and eats rat poop, I don't know.
And that's the motivation of the Babadook is never spelled out. And maybe that's what they wanted to do. But I mean, you figure all the great horror movies with, you know, the long-lasting one, you kind of get an idea of why they're doing what they're doing. You know,
yeah.
Freddy did it because the parents killed him. Jason did it because they killed his mom. You know, Michael Myers did it because his sister. And that's just like, but what's the Babadook here for?
Yeah, so that's the part where
he just wants to Babadook you.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think that the story was told so well that even without having those factors in it, it's still good.
Yeah.
It's just doesn't make a lot of sense. Or I mean, I really love the imagery. I really loved how they had it. When she's watching TV and the Babadook is just kind of showing up in shows and stuff that they're watching, or she's looking in places and you see the cloak and the hat and everything.
Yep. I agree with that. That was cool.
The other thing about this is it felt very much like some of the stuff that we've talked about with the like the Slender Man and those type of stories. It took me back to the first time that we watched Always Watching, and I think the Crooked Man looks like it's going to be sort of a play off of that too. Is it's got that creepypasta kind of vibe to it, and a modern day horror character like this that is a good jumping off point, but it still has a lot of originality, and the book stuff was cool. Especially, it's like I would like to own that pop-up book.
I know. I looked for it after the first time I watched it. I couldn't.
Yeah,
it may exist now. It may exist now.
It's certainly one of those things that should have wound up on a Kickstarter or something afterwards,
or a fucking Etsy page.
Yeah,
you can't tell me someone isn't willing to remake those. What was this movie rated? Do you know?
I don't.
Find out. My guess is PG-13. Wikipedia.
It kind of depends because
fuck,
there was a masturbation scene in it.
That's true, but I forgot about that. I was trying to think. I'm like, this may be a movie you could show children. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
never mind. I take that back.
It's not rated.
It's not rated.
To IMDb.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no rating.
Bottom of this. Babadook Davis. Is that his last name?
I don't know.
Oh, Blu-ray.
This was the first movie from the director, though, Jennifer Kent, and got a lot of high praise and everything. She's doing another movie called The Nightingale coming up. And she did a short called Duke Stole Christmas.
Oh boy. Hey, would you let the Babadookie in the cornhole?
I mean, does it have to be
really,
corn?
I didn't want to forget about it.
I can't really process corn. It might help.
Oh,
just kidding. Yeah, I don't know what can really be said about this. It's such a visual film, and it's such a thing that you kind of have to see the steps and everything that goes across, and you see just how tortured the mother is, and you see how terrorized the child is by both his imagination and by the fact that he's the only one that believes this thing is real. And it's a little bit of the boy who cried wolf, is that he's always been easily freaked out, but then when there's something that's actually truly there that's doing something, there's no one who believes him. And there's nobody who will believe her or help her. So they're kind of both in the same boat. And the person that they should be able to both rely on is each other. And he's constantly like, I don't want to lose you, Mom. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to go away. And so he's constantly like holding on to her and just grabbing her and not letting her go. And she's like, I just need a break from you the whole time. And so that's why she's pushing back against him when he's doing everything he can to protect her. And he's like, would you protect me? And she says yes, but he realizes that that's not really what she's doing. And that's another hard thing in this, is that moment of like, at some point, his mom comes to kill him. You know, his mom kills the dog, which is a hard scene too. Like knowing that was even coming up and then seeing it happen didn't make it any easier. That was another point where like, I don't have trigger moments necessarily, but that is, we've talked about this. That's kind of one of the things that like, I don't enjoy that.
Yeah. But I think that's part of the reason that it's done, because animal violence upsets so many people. And if you're trying to make a movie that's upsetting people, then it's kind of a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But in this movie, there's only two people that two creatures that either die or are meant to die, and that's the dog and the kid. And then eventually the mom is supposed to off herself or get taken by the police because they're like, oh, she murdered her kid. Plus they do a little bit of John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, where she's watching stories on TV, like news stories that are the future for her when the cops are outside of her house and they're saying, yeah, she killed her child and now they're bringing her in. You can see her in the window and stuff, and it's like the future, but she doesn't again buy into it, and she just thinks she's hallucinating because she hasn't slept in so long.
Yeah. So going back a little bit, this Mr. Babadook book, there was a campaign in which I think the number was 800. I have since left that page, but like 500 or 800 were made, and they cost about $60 a piece. Right now on eBay,
which is the same as a dildo.
Yep, same as the dildo. I would rather have the book than the dildo. But right now on eBay, there are 4 of them for sale, ranging from $200 to $1,100.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Which is fucking insane. Maybe if it was $100, I would buy it. But a handful of them were signed by the director, by Jay Kent.
Limited edition movie is, looked at as a success. The imagination of what it takes to make the Babadook in that book, I think to me, it's the best part of the film. It's certainly the most palatable part of the film is the Babadook story and the book and all the stuff that comes from that.
Man, I just wish it wasn't fucking $200. I really want this book.
That you would open up and look at once, and
that's
put
why.
on a shelf.
Yeah, that's why $200 is far too much for me. Well, there's gotta be somewhere. So I saw someone on Etsy making like prints of like the pages, just one set of pages out of cardboard. It looks really neat, but I don't know. I'm just all about finding this book right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there anything else you really want to say about the movie then?
No, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great movie, and yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you talk about it like you hate so much of the kid and everything, and yet you always, when you mention the Babadook, you get a little giddy.
I think it's a really good movie, but I hate the kid. But the kid is meant to be hated. So by
he's meant to be hated as he's meant to be annoying.
Well, right, but he's meant to be frustrating. He's meant to be an annoyance in the movie.
Right.
I go straight to hatred.
Yeah, he's a screaming kid in Kmart, and you're like, why aren't you doing something about your kid? Yep. And it's like, but you don't know that woman's world and where she's been and how much she's already tried to deal with this kid. And at this point in time, she has to just tune the screaming out because nothing's going to change anyways. And it's either I actively beat you in front of strangers or I just know that we just have to let you work this out yourself. Man, parenting is so hard. Like, it's just
let them deal with it.
I'm just saying, call your moms. I know it's not Mother's Day, but call your moms anyways, people. It's the right thing to do. Even if they didn't do 100% right by you, they probably tried their best.
Yeah.
Some are jerks. I had a bad stepmom once.
I don't want to get into stepmom problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, we are gonna go. Sorry, I'm getting messages about work because this is my life now. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna read this movie. So Corey, let's get to the FAP cave. So if you're unfamiliar with our FAP scale, it's 3 tiers: the F, the A, the P, 0 to 5. The first is going to be the feature. How was the story? Was it interesting? How was the acting? 0 to 5. Corey, since we have no guest, you have to go first.
I think the story was really good. I think the acting was really good because I bought into the pain that the mom was in and how frustrated she was and the insomnia and everything else that was going on. I think the kid, like you said, you don't like him because of how frustrating he is and how annoying he is, but he's doing a great job of it. The only thing I have a problem with is unclear motivations as to what the Babadook really is doing and why you can't defeat it. Then what's kind of the point, especially at the end. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I gave it I give it a 4 also. I think it's a really great movie. All around, yeah, it's an original story too, which is huge. Next up, we got The Attention. This is going to be your rewatchability. Would you purchase it? Would you recommend it?
You're talking about spending $200 on a book from it.
I
you
did.
may go higher than me.
I said that I would really like to own this book, but not $200 worth.
Yeah.
So suck it.
Yeah, I can't say that I want to rewatch this. If I just rewatch the scenes of the Babadook creature itself and the things of it in the book and it showing up in the real world and all of that stuff, I would probably rewatch that. But it's not because it's not good or well done. It's just it's hard to rewatch. But in all fairness, I would put it on for somebody else who hasn't seen it and expect them to watch it and get their reactions. So I'm going to go 3.
So oddly enough, I also gave it a 3, mostly because like I've seen it twice. I'm really not in a hurry to watch it again. If I was still buying DVDs, I would buy this movie, but I don't buy DVDs anymore. So when I want to watch it, I will just stream it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Last up is The Panic. How are the effects? A lot of effects in this movie, and surprises. Were you kept on the edge of your seat?
I think the effects were great. I think that they did an art style that gave it an individuality. Like I said, it's a little creepypasta, but it's done even different from the expectations of what creepypasta. It's like creepypasta done right, if anything else. I think that from the creature perspective, from the book perspective, from everything as far as the sets and feeling like you understood and were a part of that world while you were watching it, I'm actually going to go 5 on this.
Oh, damn. I only gave it a 3.
No, that's fine. I just think that for what it was trying to bring across, it did it so well that it may not have been as visually stimulating as like a Pan's Labyrinth or something.
Yeah.
But I think that the story it was trying to tell, it visually told perfectly.
Awesome. Well, you can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966. You can email us. Or you can
call your mom.
You can call your mom, tell her you love her. Or you can email us at pot@gncast.com. Then you can leave a message on our website also. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Podcast of Terror. You can subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any of your favorite podcatchers. Please leave us feedback. It's been a long time. Starting to think nobody likes us anymore. All subscription options and links can be found at gncast.com/signup, and you can follow the entire network of shows here on Facebook at the Galactic Network. Corey, where can the people find you?
So I accidentally wound up kind of taking over a couple of shows on Ink Geek on Friday. I snuck my way into Sonics and Sabers, and then I became the inadvertent guest on the final episode of the season of Mind of a Geek because they had a last-minute cancellation. And then JF DeBow showed up too, so it was kind of a worry if we would probably still be on the air right now if JF hadn't been so tired and everybody getting ready for Nerdtacular. So what I'm going to suggest is go over to Ink Geek Studios or check out their Twitch. Certainly watch their live shows when you have a chance because their live audience is amazing and it's great to be a part of that. But yeah, check out the latest episodes of Sonics and Sabers and Mind of a Geek if you want to hear more of me. If you don't, you can go to the comics that I help publish at donutscomics.com.
Terrific. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Untapped at Matt the Lifeguard. That is going to do it for another episode of the Podcast Dare. Thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Growly, Ashley, thanks for hanging out. We're going to go now because it's late here, and I'm old.
This will be the first night this week that I'm actually done by 8 o'clock.
Must be nice. It's fucking 10 o'clock here.
Well, I'm saying...
I'm fucking with you.
I was in this office until 10 o'clock on Monday, and we didn't even record.
Sorry.
Yeah, I do.
All right. I'm stopping YouTube now.